Good day, friends. I hope you guys are all doing okay. Welcome for another episode of my channel. So today I want to talk about a topic that I'm going to be careful with the words I use because YouTube doesn't like scary words. So I want to talk about 7 things you should do after being assaulted. An aftercare guide. So if you do see me looking to this side of my camera, I'm just looking at my notes. There's a few things to cover. So, the reason I decided I want to talk about this is because it's one of those things that you don't plan for. It's one of those things that you're in shock, you've been traumatized. It's not like you're going to follow the step-by-step guide in your head. You're fumbling around, you're trying to figure out, what do I do next? You most likely just want to hide and not have to deal with anything, okay? So I'm hoping this will help some people. If you have been assaulted either recently or even maybe if it's been a year or two or whatever, maybe you can still do some of these things even if it's been over some time. But this is more geared towards like a recent assault, and it's more geared toward women. Men, you guys can follow a very similar step by step, but some of the details will be different. Okay, so the first thing you want to do after an assault is you want to get somewhere safe. You want to get somewhere that's away from where the assault happened, away from the abuser. You really can't move forward to any more steps after that until you're in a safe place. Like I said, you're shaken up. You don't know what to do. Most likely, what are my next steps? You can't think clearly until you're in an environment that helps you think clearly, that calms you down, even if it's just like by a smidge. Okay? So whether that's you have to drive somewhere different, get someone to pick you up, do what you need to do to be in a safe environment. Number 2, leave your body in the same condition. I know it's hard because you probably just want to go home and shower, brush your hair, change your clothes, hide under the blankets, and believe nothing happened. Please don't do that. The reason you don't want to do that is because when you seek medical care, which I'm hoping you do right after this, is you need to keep that like evidence. Sorry, I do that a lot, guys, whatever. You want to keep that evidence on your body, and whatever evidence is still inside your body, okay? So try not to do anything to your hair. Definitely do not shower. Don't do that. Keep the same clothes on. Don't throw any of your clothes away, both any undergarments, anything. Just try and leave it as is. You don't want to tamper with anything because that's going to help. Like if you choose to report right away, that's going to help. In your case, even if you don't report right away, some of those samples can be saved for later, and that can help you report in the future, okay? So try your best just to leave everything as is. Next, you're going to go, I think you should, before going for medical attention, call the police or call 911. Now, not everyone does this step because they're afraid to report or call the police. Based on professional and personal experience, calling the police was not a bad experience for me. What happened is I called the police. They told me, okay, we're going to meet you at such and such a hospital. And from there, that's when I talked to them. That's when I talked to the nurses. It was a good experience. I didn't feel like horrible. I didn't feel like they were pounding me with questions or anything. It was good. So anyway, if you are able to, call the police, call 911, get directions from them, and then move forward from there, okay? Believe it or not, I'll speak from personal experience. There was some closure that I received from reporting. There is some justice I received from reporting. Yeah, the guy that abused me did some time. Was it much? No, it wasn't. But some people don't even serve time. Some are just like let off or nothing. Everything goes under, like not reported. And then we have people, abusers reoffending. And you know what? Most likely, Buddy has done this to someone else before you. And if you don't report, most likely he can do it to someone else. It's not to shame. It's not to say this is all on your shoulders. You have to. But just think about, hey, I could not only gain some closure, some justice, hopefully, on my end, but I could help another woman not to be assaulted either, okay? So strongly think about it. If you're afraid to report, have a friend call with you. Or if you need to go down to the station, have a friend go with you. Okay, you know, there's a lot of strength and courage you can gather from having somebody involved with you. Okay, you don't have to do this all in isolation. Gather the courage and strength. Pray, ask God to really be your strength. Okay, when I say these things out loud, it sometimes sounds almost funny because I remember being in that state, and some of these things seem so far away. Courage, strength, how could I even find those things after what happened to me? Those seem like a long lost dream, fairy tale. How dare you say that, Allie? But you know what? God never leaves us. He never forsakes us. He promised to always be there. He promised to walk through healing with us, okay? So ask him for what you need in that moment. You have people on your side. Next, seek medical attention. If the police don't direct you to the hospital, get your butt to a hospital. Now, what's going to happen at the hospital? Please remember, this differs from country to country, region to region. Get to the hospital and you'll most likely will see a nurse and a social worker. Now, what the nurse is going to do is perform, I'll say, an assault kit on you. So she's going to look for bruises, tears, any punctures, blood, any of that on your body. And then she's also going to look for any, like I said before, evidence that could still be inside your body from him, okay? And then she's going to gather that. And then she's going to, that's going to get sent off as part of, like, I guess, part of your file, part of your case. If you've reported or if you decide to report in the future, that's going to be kept for you, okay? That's why I say don't tamper with your body, because all that stuff's going to be collected and that's going to go towards next steps. So make sure that I just want you to understand what's probably going to happen next. So you're not totally shocked. If you are hungry or thirsty, that might be a good time to ask for some food, because it could really, really take a while, especially if the police want to interview you after. You don't want to be like low on blood sugar, wanting to faint, okay? Ask the nurse for some food. It will be a bit of an invasive checkup, or not checkup, that's such a lame word, and procedure. You know, this is not your everyday, I'm going to the gyno, or every day I just feel yucky. It's something bad happened and we need to collect the things in order to get some justice here and to catch somebody and do the best that we can do for you, for your own health. Because what if you have an STI, or what else? Oh, emergency contraception. You'll most likely be offered that. So it's really your choice if you want to take it. You're probably going to get a testing for STIs when you're there, and then most likely maybe a few weeks later, because you know sometimes it takes time to show up, right? So just remember that, or expect that too. Then you'll probably see a social worker. She'll come and give you some brief counsel, say, hey, this is why we did this. Do you have any questions? Here are some of your options. Just trying to remember. Yeah, she'll probably give you some resources to, like, therapy or counseling. Where I'm from, we can be referred to victim services. That includes like counseling, therapy, financial compensation for victims of crime, some of those things. So she'll probably give you some of those resources that you can access. Next. Okay. If you don't go to the cop shop after that to be interviewed, I did. So I was up probably like 30 hours, like that whole day and then all night. I didn't get home till the next morning. So if you do get instructed to go to the cop shop, then you'll have to talk to them. So whether you go home after the hospital or after the police, go home and rest. Just rest. Rest your mind, rest your body, rest your spirit. There's many things you need to consider next. But like I said, we're just going to talk about those couple of things that you can do the next like 24 hours after an assault, in the next week. So really just, you have to calm your mind and your body down, because you've been through hell, quite frankly. Sleep for as long as you need to. All right, shortly after, so I'll speak from my experience. Shortly after the assault, I was so I reported, and then I was contacted by a lawyer, And what she did is she kind of read through, okay, here are some of the legal next steps. Here are some of those legal options. Okay. So if no one reaches out to you, but you would like to know, hey, like, did they catch him? What's happening next? And you can always reach out maybe to some like legal aid. It really depends on where you're from, but you'll know what to do next if a lawyer reaches out to you. Like I said, for me, I was prepped to testify because he was caught, right? And so he was serving time, and they had to know, okay, well, are we gonna give him more time? Like, what are the next things that are gonna happen? So my lawyer said, you know, let's talk about what happened. Let's prep you to testify. And that's one of the scariest things. That's one of the most probably scariest thing a survivor considers when she wants to report or not, is knowing that you'll have to be re-traumatized, possibly recall these things in court, in front of a judge, in front of a lawyer, in front of the person that assaulted you. And that did scare me. So luckily in my situation, he pleaded guilty. Of course, he pleaded guilty and I didn't have to testify. Thank God. But that is not everyone's situation, okay? That may not be your situation. But that's a possibility. You never know. Last thing I'm going to talk about is, so you'll get some legal advice, hopefully some legal options. Next, you have the opportunity to write a victim impact statement. This does not have to be done a week after. It does not need to be done, I'd say even a few weeks after. You'd have to ask the lawyer or the courts, like, when they want your victim impact statement. Let me just tell you what a victim impact statement is. It's a statement that you voluntarily write. Nobody has to write it. You voluntarily write to let the judge know how the crime impacted you. So what you can put in there is you can put how the assault, how it emotionally impacted you, physically, how much it cost you, by money, how you were made fearful. The judge wants to know, like, what did this do to you? You can decide how to explain that, okay? I always recommend, if you have an opportunity to write a victim impact statement, write it. It's especially if you don't get a chance to testify, it will let everybody in that courtroom know, this is how I feel, this is how my life has changed. Okay, like my lawyer told me when she read my impact statement, she said that it was so powerful. The courtroom was like dead quiet. Like I just let her have it. I let him have it. And I don't mean, bark, bark, you're adorable. It was like, guess what, buddy? This is what you did to me. This is how it affected me. I'm gonna move forward. You haven't destroyed me in your face. So that's why I recommend it. It'll give you some of your voice back, okay? Try your best to write a victim impact statement. You can get support, ask a social worker, ask a friend, okay? Where do you go from here? Things to consider. So ongoing support. Let's talk ongoing support. Therapy, counselor, social worker, advocate, somebody to help you process the trauma. What are my next moves? Am I normal? I'm having these thoughts. Mental health concerns, okay? Do you need medication? Do you want to be in a support group, online, in person? How will you manage your triggers and your flashbacks? Do you need time off work? Is it going to be paid, unpaid? I took 3 months off work. It was so traumatizing. It consumed so much of me. I just couldn't. So thank God we have things like in North America, I can speak for that gives us some time to recuperate, okay? And you need to just be patient with yourself. You're not going to heal tomorrow. And even after a year, you're still going to have some ups and downs, okay? So if you're not, if you feel like you're just having a lot of struggle, really reach out, like I said, to a social worker or a therapist, somebody that can help you, okay? Invite God into your healing. That is how you move forward. Remember, He is Jehovah Jireh. He's the God that heals. He promises to never leave, to forsake, to leave you in the mud, in the pit. Never, ever, ever. Okay, I hope this gives you a little bit of next steps information on how to immediately handle such trauma that happens to you. If you're not a victim, maybe you're a loved one, this is how you can support your loved one going through this, okay? This is how you can help them get through it. This is just for your information. All right, thanks guys. I really hope that this makes sense to you. Email me, comment, join one of our socials, and stay connected. Okay, talk later.